Hello, 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 hello. Nice Thursday stream today. Thank you for coming to the show that answers the question why Neil is going to be arrested. And welcome, ladies, gentlemen, and bees. And we have shit to talk about. So, yeah. If you guys don't know, I recently got married. Oh, where is this ring? There you go. And we have had a lot of shit going on. And I wasn't there for a while, for like a week or something, and I missed you guys. Tuesday stream was a mess. I know it was too late, too early, and today's stream we can just chill out a little bit, but not too much because there's just a lot of shit that is going on. Let's just call people fast. At everyone, we are live. And you can finally see me. Seriously, I should not be doing the 15-minute break thing because it quite literally reduces the current viewers, which is shit. Anyway, there's a lot to talk about today, and we have to talk about a lot because there's so much shit going on right now. Firstly, we are going to talk about, we are going to laugh at like MRAs, men's right activists that are absolute idiots for the cause. And then we need to talk about Kafka's Blue Bug. I hope I get that right because a lot of shit went down with respect to that. I was going to cover the initial thing because they were amazing when they said what they said, and now they are being blamed for absolutely nothing. One of them actually did lose their jobs, if I'm not wrong. I do not know. I do not have the direct information. I have information from Twitter. So if anyone can enlighten me with the whole thing, I would like to know more. And if they ever need any help, my DMs are always open. So let's check. Okay. So we have people here? Probably not. Okay, so we are waiting for a bit of few people, I think. So let them come in and then I can cut this part out. And okay, everything is set. Everything is ready. To begin, we are waiting for Jing. Jing, is Jing here? No, Jing is not here. We are still waiting. Okay, anyway, let's just start. So, I recently went buggy on Twitter, where a lot of people were pissing on my post. The post wasn't too bad or something, like it wasn't like me shitting on people generally, which I normally do. It was just a normal, okayish post. It was not too bad, not too good either. But it was a post and it is getting a bit famous. It is getting a bit more likes and what not. And I would like to talk about what happened exactly, like this one. So this all started with like, okay, like this guy, his name is, and you can see him on the front page as well. His name is Rahul Ishwar. And what is the amazing thing about Rahul Ishwar? He's a men's right activist and he's also a right-wing activist mostly. He's grifting. He started with like a little bit of lefty talking points and then he ended up being like a very righty kind of a guy. Like I was just checking his like Wikipedia page earlier and like some of his points make sense and then he's like, oh, I'm a right-wing activist now because he just grifted because he had nothing better to do apparently. Anyway, the point is, he was complaining and he's like, he was specifically comparing about Shashi Tharoor. The volume should be up. Maybe we can hear him. Okay, again, I have no idea what he's saying right now, to be completely honest with you. I do not speak Malayalam. If anyone wants to translate, please translate.
Criminalization of marital rape bill അവതരിപ്പിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. നമ്മുടെ പുരുഷ കമ്മീഷൻ ഏറ്റവും സീരിയസ് ആയി എതിർക്കാൻ പോകുന്ന വിഷയങ്ങളിലൊന്നും ഇതാ. അതായത് ഈ ഭർത്താവ് തന്നെ 10 വർഷം മുമ്പ് റേപ്പ് ചെയ്തു എന്നൊരു ഭാര്യ പരാതി കൊടുക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ആ ഭർത്താവിന് 7 മുതൽ 10 വർഷം വരെ ജയിലിൽ കിടക്കാൻ പോകുന്ന ഒരു അവസ്ഥയാണ് ഉണ്ടാകുന്നത്. ഇനി ഇത് ആരാ ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്നത്? ഭാര്യയുടെ അഡ്വക്കേറ്റ്സ് നാളെ ഡിവോഴ്സിന്റെ സമയത്ത് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ കുട്ടികളുടെ കസ്റ്റഡി ബാറ്റിലിൽ പുരുഷനെ സമ്മർദ്ദത്തിലാക്കാൻ ഈസിയായി പ്രഷറൈസ് ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടി ഈ ബില്ല് ഉപയോഗിക്കപ്പെടും. ഇതിൽ സെക്ഷൻ 5, 6, 8 ശ്രീ ശശി തരൂർ ഉൾപ്പെടുത്തിയിട്ടുണ്ട് എന്നുള്ളത് സത്യമാണ്, കുറച്ച് ചെക്സ് ആൻഡ് ബാലൻസസിന് വേണ്ടി. പക്ഷേ ഇന്ന് 498A ദുരുപയോഗം ചെയ്യുന്നത് ഇരുട്ടി വിളക്കുമ്പോൾ, അതായത് ഇത് നാളെ ശശി തരൂരിനെ പോലെ വളരെ പ്രഭാവശാലിയായ ഒരു വ്യക്തി അവതരിപ്പിക്കും.
Okay, so as far as I understand what he's actually saying is that because there's a procedure within the parliament, which means in which the person who's a parliamentarian can introduce an individual bill that is not supported by the party but supported by the individual. Normally, I would have hoped that every single bill comes off like this, but apparently not. So the point of this is like the Shashi Tharoor introduced a bill saying that changing a very specific point within the BNS where a rape initially, whatever, I don't know how to say it anymore, because of like YouTube, and I don't know what YouTube is going to do. So when it comes to marital grape, in India it's legal. Like it is not considered rape if a husband is raping like his wife. It is not like if they are having sex, it is not and the sex is non-consensual, it is not considered rape in India. It is part of the BNS. So Shashi Tharoor introduced a bill that states like hey, we need to remove this, and his statement and objections and reasons we are going to read as follows. I hope you can see this. I think you can. I don't know how to center this. The criminalization of marital rape is an urgent necessity in India. India's legal framework, current section 63 of the BNS 2023 excludes marital rape from being a punishable offense, allowing men to engage in non-consensual sex with their wives, provided the wife is not under 18 years of age. This outdated legal exception is rooted in a patriarchal notion that views wives as property, a remnant of colonial era mindset. One thing I would say, this is not colonial, this is a Hindutva era mindset, which is still prevalent. Yes, so in India, basically, like if you are a wife, you have to give yourself, basically, which is sounds horrid, and it is horrid. There is no reason for it to be there. Like consent is not understood by the Indian government for some reason. This failure to criminalize marital rape has left married women legally defenseless, distinguishing them from unmarried women and perpetuating the misconception that marriage voids the necessity of consent. Bigger issue. This undermines women's fundamental rights to dignity, safety, and bodily autonomy, which is true. The alarming prevalence of marital rape is evident from the National Family Health Survey, NFHS5, which reports that 83% of women aged 18 to 49 who face sexual violence named their current husband as the perpetuator, reflecting the pervasive nature of sexual violence within marriages. The Justice Verma Committee report strongly recommended the removal of the marital rape exception, citing it was a contradictory to women's right and justice, which is true. This makes sense. This is how normal people make sense. MRAs have a problem with it. Additionally, international treaties like CEDAW, to which India is a signatory, have called for broader definitions of rape to include marital rape. Marital rape is a crime in nearly every single country except India. Acknowledging the reality of marital sexual abuse. Under Indian Constitution, Article 21 guarantees every individual the right to life and personal liberty, interpreted by the Supreme Court to include dignity, privacy, and bodily autonomy, rights that marital rape violates by denying married women control their body of their while violates by denying married women control over their own bodies. Furthermore, Article 253 empowers Parliament to legislate in alignment with the International Convention, and 51 enjoins the state to respect international law and uphold equality and justice. This constitutional provisions clearly mandate the removal of the marital rape exception to uphold both domestic and international commitments to human rights. Marriage should be a partnership grounded in mutual respect, consent, and equality. Criminalizing marital rape affirms that consent is a fundamental human right, regardless of marital status. allowing a husband to force sex upon his wife disregards her autonomy and perpetuates a cultural control and gender bias violence. In moving forward equality, it's essential to restore women's agency over their equal rights within marriage and ensure dignity for all individuals. Only entrench gender biased inequality in India's society. Why are we reading this? We are reading this because it's important, because marital rape has been gone on for so long, like nearly, again, 83% of women, married women, say that they have been assaulted by their husbands. And marriage is looked at as consent within the Indian parameter, and which is absolutely bad. It's false. It shouldn't be the case. But it is. Coming back to this guy suggests that crores of men, okay, are going to go to jail and be criminals overnight if that exception is removed. Why does he believe that? Firstly, he does believe, or I don't know, the direct belief is like, okay, the interpretation, if crores of men are by that logic criminals, then they were criminals altogether because they are raping their wives. This is bad. Obviously, this is bad. Like, there is no reason for anyone to lose their bodily autonomy just because they are married. What he is saying is, what he wants you to think is that false rape cases are such a big issue in India that we have to have an exception on when can you legally force yourself on your wife, because if that exception is not there, the women are going to have false cases against you. First of all, extreme generalization, which is absolutely fucking stupid. That is an extreme generalization, and it's absolutely fucking stupid. And most of these guys are stupid. Like, that's why the title on the front page, like, men's rights activists are fucking idiots. Because if you were a men's rights activist, you would be a feminist. It is what it is. Anyway, so let's look at another bill that was introduced as well, which was introduced by, it's a National Commission of Men's Bill. Like, this crying fucker, I know. Like, we are just trying to understand what these guys are on about, okay? Like, don't at me later.
मेरे साथ आम आदमी पार्टी से अशोक मित्तल साहब है, राज्यसभा सांसद हैं। आप पहला सवाल तो ये कि आप प्राइवेट मेंबर बिल लेकर आ रहे हैं, आप कह रहे हैं कि मैन कमीशन आना चाहिए वुमेन कमीशन के तर्ज पे, इस बिल की आखिर क्या जरूरत पड़ गई?
देखिए, मैंने इस जो पार्लियामेंट्री सेशन में प्राइवेट मेंबर बिल के तौर पर नेशनल कमीशन फॉर मेन इंट्रोड्यूस किया है। हमारे देश में महिलाएं बहुत समय से पीड़ित थी और उनको ज़रूरत थी लीगल प्रोटेक्शन की, और वो उनको मिली, जो कि एक अच्छा कदम था, किसी भी सरकार द्वारा उठाया गया।
Okay, that is not true. Legally, they might have gotten the protection on whatever, however you want to write it. There is a difference between getting the protection on a legal level and getting the protection on a social level. Women still do not have the social protections. So he's wrong at the start. Like, his introduction to the problem is wrong.
लेकिन उस वजह से जो मेन हैं या इन आदमी लोग हैं, उन लोगों को सफ़र होना शुरू हो गया, उसके कई मिसयूज़ हुए, और उसकी वजह से अकेला मैन भी सफ़र होता है, अकेला वही सफ़र नहीं होता, उसके साथ उसका परिवार भी सफ़र होता है, जिसमें
Again, when you talk about misuses for laws, those are, first of all, not something women do on their own. We will see later that a lot of times it's the men who use the women in their life to post BS cases against other men. Secondly, you have to remember this. The rate of a false case, or rather not a rate, like the number of false cases overall versus the number of actual cases is way too low. The third thing, when you have a place like India where women are harassed, women are sexually abused, and women are like made into situations that are not comfortable, where people force themselves on the woman without their consent, without anything, just because they are fucking horny, or because they think women are property and like they have the right to do it. In such a country, you need the strong laws that we have right now. Though they are, again, I'll say this again, they are not enforced. We have seen multiple times, nearly, like we see weekly, like there is a horrendous case against a woman. We see daily, there is a like we see a rape case nearly every single day. And there are like what? How much were like, they're like, a woman is raped in India like every 30 seconds or something. We have that many rape cases. We have that saying for a reason. In India, you get a false case against a man every 6 months. You get a rape case against a woman every fucking day. There is always something new. Against children, fucking children. Oh, that's a very bad pun. I hate myself for saying that pun. Anyway, the point is, in this scenario, you need these laws. You don't need a national commission for men, because men are not suffering in this country. Because even if this case goes on to the judges or whatever, even if the case goes to the judiciary, nothing happens. This is a country where rapists are garlanded and paraded. This is bullshit. He's just trying to get votes, I think, or like get his name on paper. Fine.
वुमन भी होती है, तो इन सब बातों को देखते हुए कि यदि किसी मैन को प्रॉब्लम आ जाए, उसको कोई वुमन गलत हरासमेंट कर रही हो, डोरी केसेस,
again, they need to tell you like how many times this has happened, because literally never happens.
में गलत हरासमेंट कर रही हो, डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस के नाम पे गलत हरासमेंट कर रही हो, या गलत रेप चार्जेस लगा दिए गए.
Again, 83% women have said that there are instances of violence, domestic violence against them by their husbands and current husbands, not even ex-husbands included in that study.
या और किसी तरीके से उसका क्या सोल्यूशन है. तो इन सबको मद्देनजर रखते हुए मुझे लगा कि एक ज़रूरत है, जैसे वुमेन कमीशन बने हुए हैं, माइनॉरिटी कमीशन बने हुए हैं, या और जितने भी कमीशन बने हुए हैं, ऐसे ही एक मैन कमीशन भी होना चाहिए, ताकि जो सफरर है वो अपनी बात कहीं कह सके, उसको कहीं से न्याय मिल सके, उसके साथ कोई खड़ा हो सके. इन सब बातों को देखते हुए मुझे लगा कि अब टाइम आ गया है कि हमें एक मैन कमीशन, एक नेशनल कमीशन फॉर मैन भी लाना चाहिए.
लेकिन अमूमन हिंदुस्तानी जो समाज है उसको पुरुष प्रधान माना जाता है, और उसमें कहा जाता है कि पुरुष मजबूत है, सशक्त है, शक्तिशाली है. तो ऐसे में आपको क्यों लगा कि वाकई जो है पुरुष आज के दौर में पीड़ित है पहले की तुलना में? क्या वाकई पुरुष बहुत ज़्यादा परेशान है, गलत केसेस में उसको फंसाया जा रहा है?
देखिए, पहले तो मैं एक बात स्पष्ट करना चाहूँगा, जो भारत का संविधान है वो हम सबका मार्गदर्शक है. और भारत का संविधान, चाहे वो पुरुष हो चाहे वो स्त्री हो, सबको बराबर के अधिकार देते हैं. वोट का राइट.
That is not true in practice. While, yeah, sure, India gives the equal rights to everyone, but then India has given equal rights to even Dalits, Muslims, but in practice, does it work? No, it doesn't. Obviously fucking not. The only people with the maximum amount of rights and enforcement are UC men. No one else gets all the rights. Even in that scenario, there is also a class difference, where rich people have more rights than poor, even if every single person on this earth, like rather in India, has the same amounts of rights. Like, what are these people talking about? This guy is stupid. Or he's just waffling.
पुरुष को भी है, स्त्री को भी है. ये भारत के संविधान की खूबसूरती है. ऐसे ही जितने भी और कानून हैं, तकरीबन हर एक में ही दोनों को बराबर के अधिकार हैं. तो हम ये नहीं कह सकते कि चाहे आपका हिंदू सक्सेशन एक्ट भी ले लें, यदि बिल नहीं बनी हुई तो जितना भी प्रॉपर्टी है वो बेटा और बेटी में बराबर की जाती है. तो पुरुष प्रधान वाली बात नहीं है कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में या किसी भी कानून में. हाँ, सोसाइटी में हम कह सकते हैं इस तरीके की बातें जरूर होती रही हैं, लेकिन अब वो बात भी नहीं रह गई है। अब महिलाएं हमारे देश के पुरुष से कंधा मिला के खड़ी होती हैं, नौकरियों पे जाती हैं। अब तो डिफेंस फोर्सेस में भी
Okay, first of all, that is fucking not true. In the workforce, women are harassed daily. Just because they have a job doesn't mean that they are not harassed. Secondly, women are still not paid as much as a man in India. There is a wage gap. Women are not preferred because of weird fucking reasons. What if they get pregnant? What if they want break on their period? Thinking fucking all of this, women are not given jobs, women are not given their place, their rightful place as citizens of India and equal members of the Indian population. But no. While, as he said, oh, they are equal in the eyes of law. Like, yeah, they are, but they are not given equal opportunities. Apparently, when it comes to on ground, what is the use?
स्त्रियों को बराबर की नौकरियां मिलने लगी हैं, तो आज के दिन में वो बात नहीं है। लेकिन जो कानून बने वो वन साइडेड बन गए हमेशा ही, डोरी को लेके, डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस को लेके या और चीज़ों को लेके। तो उस पर इसलिए ज़रूरत है कि पुरुषों के हितों की भी रक्षा की जाए। जो पुरुष किसी वजह से भी मेंटली सफ़र करते हैं, फिजिकली सफ़र करते हैं, इमोशनली सफ़र करते हैं,
तो उनकी सुरक्षा हो पाए,
उनकी भी सुरक्षा हो
बिल
पाए।
को स्वीकार कर लिया गया है,
ये नेचुरली इंट्रोड्यूस कर दिया है।
इंट्रोड्यूस आपने कर दिया।
हाँ, अगला स्टेप होता है कि वो शॉर्ट लिस्टिंग में आए और उसमें कंसिडरेशन पे जाए। तो मैं उम्मीद लग रहा हूँ कि मुझे पुरुषों की और हम सबकी अच्छी लक रहे कि ये लॉटरी में निकल आए और उस पर चर्चा हो, बहस हो। और मैं उम्मीद करूँगा सरकार इसको गंभीरता से लेगी और इसको पास करवाने के लिए मुझे सपोर्ट करेगी।
थैंक यू सो मच।
Honestly, fuck this dude, man. This dude has no idea what is going on, and this guy should not be supported in any form. Like, anyone supporting this at this point is fucking stupid. Is idiotic, to be honest with you. There are multiple reasons why this is idiotic. First of all, because this guy looks like an idiot. But we have a few things to cover because something like this. There was a Fortuner with that bride, please. There was a dowry case just 4 months ago. We are going to talk about this. We are going to look into it. And this is not new. I am presenting this as, oh, this was just 4 months ago. We had a dowry case of death like yesterday. We have a case of a man killing his wife and his daughter because they didn't wear a head covering, like burqa. Sorry. We have a case of a man killing his wife because she didn't wear the right clothes. She didn't her family didn't give dowry, and this was last week. I don't even have to pull up the news. You know what I'm talking about. But fine, for argument's sake, let's check this out.
They have beaten me so brutally.
Gives tradition and a little show off. That's how it's always been, right?
आपको पता है मेरे भाई ने अपने सन इन लॉ को एक I-10 वेडिंग गिफ्ट दी थी।
Quick fact: wedding gifts must be documented to prove they were not dowry in disguise, as per law. Flashy vehicles have become the new status symbols. Dowry is publicly flaunted. Dowry was actually legal in India right until the 1960s. Dowry-related deaths were common but rarely reported. Many cases were disguised as accidents or suicides.
Dowry is a curse.
In 1979, the Ravinder Kaur's case became a major turning point. This is Ridhanya, an MBA graduate from Tamil Nadu. She got married to 28-year-old Kevin Kumar in April 2025. Her family had promised 500 sovereigns of gold, nearly 4 kg, and a 70 lakh rupees Volvo as dowry. At the time of the wedding, they managed to give 300 sovereigns and the car. But just 15 days into the marriage, Ridhanya returned home. She said her husband and in-laws demanded the remaining dowry and subjected her to mental abuse and physical abuse.
அவன் கொடுக்கிற மென்டல் டார்ச்சர் என்னால் தாங்க முடியல. உடல் ரீதியாவும் என்னால அவங்களும் உண்மையாவே இருக்க முடியல. ரொம்ப டார்ச்சரா இருக்கு டெய்லியும்.
Despite the signs, her father advised her to adjust and give the marriage another chance.
என்ன சொல்றாங்களே தவிர நான் எவ்வளவு பாதிக்கப்பட்டிருக்கேன்னு யாருமே புரிஞ்சுக்க மாட்டேங்கிறாங்க. நீங்க கூட நான் போய் சொல்றேன்னு நினைக்கலாம். சத்தியமா நான் எந்த விதத்திலயும் உங்ககிட்ட போய் சொல்லப்பா. நடந்தது மட்டும்தான் சொன்னேன்.
She returned to her in-laws' house but came back again within 20 days, this time visibly shattered.
இத கண்டினியூ பண்றக்கோ இல்ல இத இப்ப முடிச்சாலும் இன்னொரு லைஃப் நாளைக்கு தேடுறக்கோ எனக்கு வாழ்றக்கே பயமா இருக்கு.
On 28 June 2025, Ridhanya was found dead inside her car having consumed pesticide. Before taking her own life, she sent a WhatsApp voice note to her father saying,
நான் என் லைஃப எண்ட் பண்ணிக்கிறேன். இதுக்கு மேல நான் வாழ விரும்பல சுத்தமாவே. என்ன மன்னிச்சிருங்க. என்ன பெற்றதுல இருந்து நீங்களும் அம்மாவும் பட்ட கஷ்டத்துக்கு அவமானத்துக்கு என்ன மன்னிச்சிருங்க.
Despite being well educated and her family's economic standing, Ridhanya still became a victim of dowry culture. Her death sparked national outrage and reopened discussions about dowry harassment. If a husband or his family is cruel to a woman, that's a crime, punishable by up to 3 years in jail and a fine. That's under Section 85 of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. Section 80, that's for dowry deaths. The punishment starts at 7 years and can go up to life imprisonment. There are laws, and yet more than 10 women die every single day in India because of dowry.
And the reason why we are highlighting this is because men's rights activists think that, oh, this is a law that has been used against men, though we have so many deaths of women because of all of this. And they say that, oh, if we change the law for marital rape as well, they are going to be using this as well. See, India has a really big problem with dowry, marital rape, and general treatment of women. These laws are there's a reason why these laws exist.
Cash, jewelry, property, vehicles, etc. Dowry could be anything. Any property or valuable security given or agreed to be given either directly or indirectly by the bride's family to the groom or his family at or before or any time after marriage in connection with the marriage of the said parties, that's how law defines dowry.
The money is for us only, Nabri. How does it matter?
Let me explain in more detail how dowry impacts lives. If there's a demand for dowry, it puts pressure on the bride's family. Families that can't afford it are often pushed into debt or severe financial and emotional stress. This pressure often leads to daughters being seen as burdens because marrying them off comes at a heavy cost. Multiple women face rejection from potential grooms due to dowry, which leads to feeling of inadequacy and a loss of self-esteem. On the other hand, families who do manage to give dowry are often exploited further with more demands over time.
सारा सामान फर्नीचर सब कुछ दिया है, कार के कारण मुझे बहुत परेशान कर रहे हैं.
Women in these situations are frequently subjected to domestic violence, and in many cases this leads to them being killed or taking their own lives.
मारने की कोशिश की जा रही है.
Many families kill infant girls after birth, also known as female infanticide, or abandon them or abort a pregnancy if they find out it's a girl, with dowry being one of the contributing factors. All of this starts with the same root problem, the demand for dowry.
Of course, they wanted my husband to get remarried, thinking that I have given birth to 2 female kids, so I'm not fit to give birth to a male kid.
There are also some families who don't see it as giving dowry, but as a way to flaunt status, outdo relatives and friends, or uphold the family's honor.
1,11,00,000.
Just so you know, even if someone gives gifts or dowry willingly, the law says it must be within the giver's financial status, which is the bride's family's financial status.
Dowry में तुम्हें गाड़ी मिल रही है.
मैं लड़का हूँ.
A historical eyewitness named Aryan, who came to India in 300 BC, documented that dowry was absent in India or infrequent to not be noticed by him. After 1200 years, a Persian scholar who also visited India and lived for 16 years named Al-Burini also highlighted the same. In the Vedic era, brides received voluntary gifts from their families for their financial security. Women had property rights then, so this wealth legally belonged to them. But during British rule, laws were changed and women lost the right to own property. As a result, any money or gifts given to a bride ended up under her husband's control. Over time, this legal shift led to exploitation and gradually transformed voluntary bridal gifts into compulsory dowry, often demanded and misused by the groom's side. Michael Witzel believes dowry wasn't very important during the Vedic period, but anthropologist Stanley says dowry became common among upper castes, especially in marriages where families tried to marry their daughters into higher status families to maintain social rank.
₹1,00,000 के साथ लड़की को तुम हमारे घर भेजना.
Today, they say it's just tradition, gifts, a gesture, nothing more. But how often does that excuse hide something much deeper? Law says when those gifts are expected, demanded, or become a condition for marriage, they are no longer gifts. Quick fact. As per law, all wedding gifts must be documented to prove they were voluntary and not dowry in disguise. But since there's no strict enforcement or penalty for not documenting them, very few people actually do it. But yes, documenting everything could help with respect to false cases too.
रीति रिवाज परंपरा के नाम पर इस लड़की के मजबूर बाप को लूट रहे हैं.
Yeah. I don't really think even if documenting is going to help. They're going to keep crying over it anyway. MRAs want to have a situation where they do not and are not legally liable for the shit they do to their wives. That's the problem with MRAs. They do not care about the rights of the woman. They care about the rights of the man and how the right of the man should be always higher than the rights of the woman. That's the problem. That's the entire problem. We have a lot of things that you can do so you don't get trapped in a false case. First of all, stop marrying women without knowing them. If you are so worried about getting into a false case, like always marry for love, never marry for arranged marriage, and then make sure you actually love the woman and not just use her for sex. A very straightforward way to avoid such weird ass cases. And always have her consent whenever you even touch her, because you do not lose bodily anatomy just because you're married.
Dowry today has also evolved into flashy displays of wealth, no longer just gold or cash. In many small towns and growing cities, luxury cars such as
we all know this, bro. Let's just move to the point of false cases here.
Disputes. As per the NCRB data of 2022, out of 13,479 cases filed under the Dowry Prohibition Act, 356 were closed as final report false after police investigation. In 2025, when the Supreme Court was hearing a petition to declare dowry harassment unconstitutional, the court dismissed the petition. The Supreme Court acknowledged that dowry laws had been misused at times, but they also said misuse alone isn't enough to strike down a law. It must be guarded against, but the law can't be undermined just because it has, in some instances, been invoked unscrupulously. So yes, dowry laws are sometimes misused and those cases do deserve attention, but the core issue still remains. So there isn't a short-term solution to something as deeply entrenched as dowry. It will take time, but we need to call it out when it's being normalized. Let us know in the comments what do you think it will take to end dowry, and let me know what topic you'd like me to dive into next.
Okay, straight point. Dowry is going to end the day we have more people talking about women's right and what is right and what is wrong from an early age. Like, we need to be telling children that dowry is a wrong thing and we should not be taking dowry whatsoever from the base of it. Now let's look at the problem of marital rape. Come on, load. So this is a video from
and welcome to
a year ago.
The Print. My name is Karanjeet Kaur. I'm a journalist and an editor. Today I'd like to talk to you about the centre's recent stance on marital rape. The Indian government has just proved that women are safer outside a marriage than within one. The centre's stance on marital rape is disappointing to millions of Indian women, but wholly unsurprising. The NDA is neither the first nor will it be the last government to fail Indian women. This most recent blow came from the Union Ministry of Home Affairs. It filed an affidavit in the Supreme Court, which is reviewing petitions challenging the constitutionality of the marital rape exception under Section 375 of the Indian Penal Code. The affidavit asserted that labeling marital rape as a criminal offence was excessively harsh and could destabilize the institution of marriage. Let's unpack some of its more troubling assertions. The government emphasized that this issue requires a comprehensive approach that originates from legislative bodies rather than judicial intervention, citing potential socio-legal implications. In marriage, states the affidavit, there exists a continuing expectation by either of the spouses to have reasonable sexual access from the other. They did clarify that these expectations do not entitle the husband to force his wife into sex against her will. It also contended, and I quote, "The sexual aspect is but one of the many facets of the relationships between."
Okay, so on the one hand, they're saying that you can't force yourself onto your wife, but then if you do, there's nothing is going to go wrong with you. What the fuck? Seriously, what the fuck? Like talk about double speak in this scenario.
Husband and wife, on which the bedrock of their marriage rests. The affidavit also expressed concerns about the potential misuse of laws and highlighted that such a change could disrupt conjugal relationships. Now, there's plenty in there to rail against. But for a moment, let's focus on the way the centre framed the sexual aspect. Where have we heard this argument before? You might...
The argument has been heard multiple times by from rapists, where they keep saying, oh, but I had the right. Oh, she gave me. Oh, she didn't say no. If she didn't say no, she might be enjoying it. Oh, she might have enjoyed it.
Remember it from the time the Karnataka High Court upheld the hijab ban. The court had argued that the hijab isn't an essential practice of Islam and individual consent could take a hike. Now, the same flawed logic is applied to marital rape, as if consent becomes optional once you've signed a marriage certificate. But using the essentiality doctrine to cherry pick which practices are core to an institution cannot justify trampling on individual rights. The implications of this stance are far-reaching and deeply concerning. This begs the question, whose individual rights are important? Who is worthy of protection from excessive harshness? What comprehensive approach do we need around consent within a marriage when we don't need one outside it? And what about the inherent misogyny that believes such a law will be misused by women because no man ever has misused any laws? How have we arrived in 2024, where summarily divorcing your wife can land you in jail, but sexually assaulting her will not? The fight to criminalize marital rape in India is rooted in the 17th century doctrine of Hale, which treated women as the property of their husbands upon marriage. This archaic British legal principle has been overturned in the UK, but even 300 years later continues to dangle over the necks of Indian women. In 2012, the Justice Verma Committee, which was instituted in the wake of the Delhi gang rape, recommended that the marital rape exception be removed. The then Congress government had opposed it, citing concerns about the sanctity of marriage. And the current BJP...
So sanctity of marriage is absolute bullshit in India because, first of all, sanctity of marriage means nothing. Absolutely nothing. The argument itself is flawed. What do you think a marriage is? A marriage is not something that is, this religious doctrine that we have to do something based on whatever. Like, people think it is that. It is absolute stupid. Marriage, at the base of it, is two people deciding to live together as husband and wife, or as wife and wife, or husband and husband, or whatever they want to be like. The point of a marriage, especially in this new world, is to have the security from someone else, that someone, like the dependability from the person next to you, that they are going to be yours, and like they're never going to leave, and whatever that may be. Or even if you have an open marriage, you have an open marriage, and that if you're more secure that way, you're more secure that way. The definition of marriage at the end of the day is you get better, like, interest rates. That's quite literally why there is. You don't need to get married in India anymore. or anywhere else. The married people get a lot of perks, quote unquote, quote unquote, quote unquote, quote unquote, perks when it comes to banking, when it comes to childcare, when it comes to a few things like taxation and whatever. So marriage becomes a far more of a legal procedure in 2025 than it becomes a social one. Socially as well, marriage is thought of like, oh, you're married, so I don't know, you're gonna get better. Like, I fucking don't know. Religiously, marriage does not make sense whatsoever. It does not. There is no profit of getting married for anyone, especially if one party is always going to be harassed and abused. Like, okay, I'm making this my mind right now. Don't get married, guys or girls. Like, it's pointless. As if you want to get married for a better interest rate because you guys want to buy a house and you've been in a relationship for a while, sure. It's really hard to get out of a marriage and and it's really easy to get in a marriage. Like, India requires like a proper way for like no contest divorces, but fine, that is another topic. Again, the point of all of this ranting or just going off is like, okay, in India, there is no meaning to the sanctity of marriage. Anyone giving you this bullshit that the sanctity of marriage is going to be fucked over is fucking wrong. Well, even if I wanted, I can't because legality. Yeah. I'm so sorry, Bliss. Yeah. I'm so sorry. Yeah. In India, it's just kind of fucked. It's if we had this recent, like, I was so pissed off at the Supreme Court, like when they spoke about like, oh, we can't give the right to marry to everyone because how do you define marriage? That was such a bullshit case. And Chandrachud at the end was like recently he was like, oh, like, we can't talk about this in the judiciary because it is the job of the parliament and that's how they decide, but they decide everything else. Like, it's so fucking stupid arguments they gave. Jesus Christ. And I was kind of pissed off, like, from both ends of the situation. Like, okay, we're going down this line anyway. When you talk about like MWM, like man weds man, or WWW, fine, W, or like same-sex marriages. Same-sex marriages or trans marriages or whatever. Yeah, exactly. Law should be simple. So their entire argument was because the age of marriage is different for a man and a woman. You can't change man and a woman because it's essential. They like even I was just talking about like how the opposition framed their arguments, like the petitioners framed their arguments was because just change it to person. You don't even have to change it to person, to be honest with you. To be honest with, like, the whole argument that they had was quite stupid. Like, both sides, because the argument of changing it to person, obviously this is going to be like they are going to have this issue. Just make it like party A, whether a man or woman of a specified age, or party B, whether a man or woman of specified age, whatever, man, woman, or trans, whatever you want to be, because India still has the third gender category, so put it there. That is the only thing that needs to be changed, and that can be here on applied like age wise or whatever. They like all of the arguments of the opposition go in the toilet right after. But they did not argue that. And like I was watching it live, like I was literally watching that live, and I was like all of this is so fucking simple. Just have like the man or woman rather than just man/woman. You can like if two men are getting married or two women are getting married, just pick and choose which side are you on in like between the or whatever. It is that fucking simple. Exactly. Religion, gender, caste, nothing should matter. And they haven't even done a good job for all of that as well. Like in India, like if you have to get married into the special provisions or whatever, your address is pasted on for the public to see, which is like the whole, which shouldn't be the case in the first place. Oh, Jesus, it's so fucking stupid. There was another point that they were talking about, like, oh, fuck. Where their argument was like, oh, how can we change this from a person to whatever? The entire argument that they really had to make was, if all people are equal, shouldn't the right to be married be applicable to everyone? And that is a point that they did not mention. Like the people who came up, who went to court with it. And I am no lawyer. I do not know shit about law. Like, I know, like, the judiciary, I know they're working, but these are such simple fucking points, man. Like, simple fucking points. These guys are so fucking stupid. I can't. Sometimes I just can't. How do you screw this up so badly where all you had to say was, isn't the right to be married right, or is it a privilege? If it's a right and it's applied for everyone. And if it's not a right, then you are basically saying that you can remove that right from anyone. You remove that condition from anyone, which is against the Constitution. And even if the whole issue came down to, oh, how can we change it to persons, because there was a difference, there's a difference between when can a man marry, when can a woman marry, then just change the, like, just say and or. Just make sure that party A can be either a man or a woman and party B can either be a man or a woman. That's all you had to do. Jesus. Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway, that is not our point today. Our point we are talking about is marital rape.
Led government maintains this stance. The two are divided by party lines, but united in turning a blind eye to the sanctity of a woman's bodily autonomy. While several opposition leaders have now labelled the centre's arguments as regressive, these views have been echoed by the BJP for years now. In 2015, Haribhai Partibhai Chaudhary, who was the Minister of State for Home Affairs, had said in a written statement, the concept of marital rape, as understood internationally, cannot be suitably applied in the Indian context. The reasons were illiteracy, poverty, and religious beliefs. The following year, Minister for Women and Child Development, Maneka Gandhi, who is very well known for her tireless activism for Indian stray dogs, regurgitated the same claims. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I have never witnessed illiteracy, poverty, or religious beliefs being trotted out as reasons to not undertake large-scale social projects. Did illiteracy stop the widespread implementation of Aadhaar? Or did poverty prevent the government from demonetizing currency? Or did religious beliefs come in the way of announcing overnight lockdowns during COVID-19? Why then are married Indian women, but not Indian men, asked to worry about the sanctity of marriage when it comes to sexual consent? Despite this entrenched resistance, there have been glimmers of hope in recent years. High courts in many parts of India have displayed exceptional courage in recognizing the constitutional rights of married women. For instance, in 2018, the Gujarat High Court, while hearing a case of a man accused of rape and domestic violence by his wife, asserted that marital rape ought to be a crime and not a concept. The Kerala High Court's 2021 ruling, in a case where a woman sought divorce on grounds of marital rape, recognized such acts as valid grounds for marital dissolution. Yet, the Supreme Court's 2022 stay on a Karnataka High Court order, which had refused to quash charges against a man accused of brutally raping his wife, underscores the ongoing legal ambiguity. But the irony is stark. While the centre opposes criminalizing marital rape, its own data from the National Family Health Survey 5 reveals that about 30% of women in India have experienced some form of spousal violence, and 6% of women have experienced sexual violence from their husbands. That's millions of women whose voices are silenced by institutions meant to protect them. And these are just the reported figures.
See, also the numbers are quite high. Even the numbers here have gone exponentially higher. We saw earlier 83% of women in India have experienced spousal violence. 83, and that was recent. Here it's 30.
While India clings to its colonial era laws, much of the world has moved on. The UK criminalized marital rape in 1991, and Bhutan and Nepal beat us to it in 2004 and 2006. Even Pakistan, often the yardstick against which we measure our progress, recognized marital rape as a form of domestic violence in 2006. On this side of the border, we've criminalized domestic violence and outlawed dowry, much to the unhappiness of men's rights activists. But somehow, we can't bring ourselves to say that forcing sex on an unwilling spouse is a crime. These already disturbing contradictions reach a most sinister apotheosis where child marriage intersects with marital rape. In a landmark ruling in 2017, the Supreme Court upheld the age of consent as 18 years. Instead of paving the path for criminalizing marital rape, the government's stance revealed an even more disturbing disconnect. It held that child marriage is illegal, but also a persistent social reality, which creates a judicial grey area where underage brides who cannot legally consent to sex are left without protection from sexual abuse within these marriages. And the government's refusal to criminalize such acts, which might destabilize these unions, is an illustration of where its priorities lie, in preserving marriage over the safety and rights of young children. We are striding into 2025 with aspirations to become the mother of democracy and a $5 trillion economy.
Okay, I agree with everything she said except for this last part where this is 2025. We have gone down on democracy, not up. We are more like the grave of democracy right now.
But with a complete lack of comprehension of consent. These grand visions ring hollow when half our population is expected to leave their fundamental rights at the threshold of their marital homes. After all, nothing screams vibrant democracy quite like telling a third of your female population that their bodies are no longer their own once they're married. But what use do Indian women have for the sanctity of marriage when it tramples on our constitutional rights? If this is what Sabka Vikas looks like, maybe it's time to ask, Vikas for whom exactly? And at what?
The Vikas is for like the UC brown, white, fair men. That is what is at the heart of every fascist movement. Like no matter what, like the fascist movements are always the ones that will push down minorities, and women are minorities. You have seen like even in America right now, the first people to get fired from their jobs after the Trump administration, which is inherently a fascistic organization, were white women, were women in general, white women especially, because even though there were a lot of women that supported MAGA, they were also ones that were fired because they got their jobs through DEI. Because you need this job, need these laws, especially because whenever you have an organization that is inherently fascistic or authoritarian, they are always shit on the women first. No, sorry. They first shit on the trans, they then shit on the LGBTQ, then they shit on the minorities, then they shit on women. That order. I can go in much more detail where they first shit on like trans women, then trans men, then LGBTQ women, then LGBTQ men. Too complicated. Learn the levels. Anyway, so this is a problem. I can keep going on. I can honestly keep going on. There is a Kunal Kamra video on this. Why are Indian men in danger? Because every time we hear this whole shit that, Indian men are in danger of false cases. Like what we were talking about earlier with the guy, who was this? Who was his fucking name? Rahul Ishwar. All he was saying was, oh, men will be in danger because of this, because of false rape cases or something. Like, that is not gonna happen to you, bro. These men think that all women are problematic. These men think that every single woman, if married, is going to do it. They are not, for one. Secondly, they do not see every single guy who has raped a woman and the news that comes in. That's when they say, oh, all of these women, like, we are generalizing here. Everyone is generalized to all of these women. But when a man is raping a woman, and which happens literally every single day, not all men. Do you see the problem there? Plus, I'm just going to play the damn video. That video explains this a lot better than I can.
आज जन की बात में होगी मन की बात। मेंस राइट्स एक्टिविस्ट, ब्राह्मणवादियों और वाइट सुप्रीमिस्ट के बाद सबसे सताए हुए लोग।
गोली लगी है मुझे, मल्टीपल फ्रैक्चर है बॉडी में।
अगर सच कहूँ तो हमारे देश में एक्चुअली मेंस राइट एक्टिविस्ट का रहना मुश्किल है। हम इस देश में रह रहे हैं जहाँ पे रोज 20 डाउरी डेथ्स होती है। अब ऐसे में मेंस राइट एक्टिविस्ट अपना दुखड़ा किसे सुनाए?
हमारे घर बर्बाद होते हैं तो खाली महिलाओं का उत्पीड़न से खाली महिला को फर्क नहीं पड़ता, सबसे पहले पुरुष बर्बाद हो जाता है। अच्छा, क्यों? उसका घर खत्म हो जाता है।
सुनने में आया है कि अब वो अपने माइनर इश्यूज को माइनॉरिटी राइट्स कहकर हवा देना चाहते हैं। ये एक्टिविस्ट इसी फिराक में रहते हैं कि कब कोई महिला कहीं पर क्राइम कर दे और वो उस घटना के जोर पे सदियों के जुल्म के नैरेटिव ही बदल दे। कोई भी ट्रैजिक दिल दहलाने वाली घटना हो जाए, ये नमूने पहुंच जाएंगे उसी इंसिडेंट की मिसाल बताने कि ये एक्सेप्शन ही तो सबसे बड़ा एग्जाम्पल है जेंडर बेस्ड वायलेंस का। जैसे मीडिया मुसलमान ढूंढ रहा है, इंटरनेट पे हमारे मर्द ढूंढ रहे हैं महिलाएं। मेघालय वाला हनीमून मर्डर आपको याद है, जिसमें सोनम रघुवंशी को अरेस्ट किया गया और उस पर अपने पति को मारने का मुकदमा भी चल रहा है।
मार्च 2025 सोनम राजा की शादी तय हुई। 11 मई सोनम राजा की इंदौर में शादी। 20 मई।
Jesus, I remember this and I also remember this goddamn AI bullshit. Why?
हनीमून के लिए इंदौर से निकले। 23 मई राजा सोनम लापता। 24 मई रेंट पर लिया गया स्कूटर सोहरारिम में मिला। 25 मई कई एजेंसियों ने दोनों की तलाश शुरू की। 2 जून राजा का शत विक्षत शव खाई में मिला।
इंदौर से ये कपल मेघालय गए और वहीं इस प्लान को अंजाम दिया गया और उसके कई दिन बाद सोनम रघुवंशी यूपी में पकड़ी गई। इसी बीच प्रो बीजेपी न्यूज आउटलेट ऑप इंडिया ने सोनम रघुवंशी को ट्रैफिक करके बांग्लादेश पहुंचा दिया था।
ये तो लेटेस्ट न्यूज है।
कोई भी कांड हो, कोई भी कलेश, सबका जवाब बांग्लादेश। मुझे लगता है पाकिस्तान लेफ्ट आउट फील कर रहा होगा। खतरों की ही जिंदगी है इनकी, कभी हिंदू खतरे में है, कभी मर्द खतरे में है।
थोड़ी मर्यादा रखिए।
खतरे में यहाँ लॉजिक है। इस रिपोर्ट के आधार पे हर साल 38,000 से ज्यादा चाइल्ड रेप केसेस रिपोर्ट होते हैं। मतलब हर दिन 100 केसेस से ज्यादा चाइल्ड रेप के रिपोर्ट किए जा रहे हैं। किसी भी फेमिनिस्ट या रैशनलिस्ट ने कभी ये नहीं कहा कि महिलाएं कुछ गलत कर ही नहीं सकती। ये भी एक तरह की पेट्रियार्कल सोच ही है कि मर्द ही हमेशा कुछ क्राइम करेंगे, महिलाएं सिर्फ किचन में खाना बनाएंगी।
जहाँ घर की लेडीज और बच्चियाँ हमें अपने हाथों से प्यार से खाना खिलाएं, वही घर है।
औरतें गलत करती है, वो कन्विक्ट भी होती है, वो जेल में सजा भी काट रही है, तो ये मानने में तो किसी को प्रॉब्लम नहीं है कि महिलाएं भी क्राइम कर सकती है। पर ज्यादातर मामले वो दर्ज है जो मर्दों के क्राइम विमेन के अगेंस्ट है, तो इसीलिए इसे सिस्टमैटिक ऑपरेशन या फेमिसाइड भी कहा जा सकता है।
He walks straight up, brazenly to that young girl, 16-year-old girl is what we've been told, 40 times stabs her and then lets go of the knife, picks up a huge stone right beside and bludgeons her to death. This is brazen murder in full public glare with people there, passers-by, all the more shockingly, not stopping that man from pulling off that murder. They do not even interfere for a moment, don't raise an alarm. Just spot this crime happening and walk past.
पर रो रो के उल्टी गंगा बहाने में तो हमारे मर्द ओलंपिक जीत जाए। तो रिजर्वेशन को कास्टिज्म, सब्सिडी को प्रिविलेज और लव को जिहाद कहने वाले क्यों एलिमनी को ऑल माय मनी ना कहे, चाहे देश में डिवोर्स रेट 1% से कम ही क्यों ना हो। ये स्टेटिस्टिक हमारे पूरे वीडियो का आधार है और हर बात में ये फेमिनिस्ट को गाली ऐसे देते हैं जैसे नारीवाद इनका नेहरू हो।
You know, I don't really like covering like Kunal Kamra videos. There's only one reason, like dude goes on banger. I can't have commentary to this because what am I supposed to say? He's correct, he's right, he's perfectly correct. Like it's shit. Like bro makes all commentary nearly impossible. This is how you should be doing content, not shitty content like literally like NDTV or ABP. Like every like last time we covered them, we had to stop like every 5 seconds just to correct whatever they're saying.
पता नहीं ऐसे डेंजरस सिचुएशन में मैं ऑटोमेटिकली आगे कैसे आ जाता।
अब आते हैं अतुल सुभाष वाले केस पे, जो एक ट्रेजेडी है और उनके दोस्त, घर परिवार, जो भी उनसे जुड़ा है, उन सबको मैं अपने दिल से कंडोलेंस देता हूँ। अतुल सुभाष जो एक 34 ईयर ओल्ड बैंगलोर टेकी थे, 9 दिसंबर 2024 को उन्होंने अपने ही घर में सुसाइड कमिट किया। इस रिपोर्ट के मुताबिक उन्होंने 24 पेज का एक नोट छोड़ा था जिसमें प्लैकार्ड लगा था जस्टिस इज ड्यू। इस नोट में अतुल ने निकिता सिंघानिया, उनकी बीवी और उसकी फैमिली को ब्लेम किया। उनकी सैलरी 84,000 थी। कोर्ट ने उन्हें 40,000 रुपए हर महीने एलिमनी देने के लिए कहा, उनके 5 साल से छोटे बच्चे के लिए। इस दबाव में उन्होंने आत्महत्या कर लिया। निकिता सिंघानिया, उनकी मां और उनके भाई को अबेटमेंट टू सुसाइड के केस में गिरफ्तार किया गया।
Very often in personal relationships, including spousal relationships, you know, the conflict is not between right and
You know, whenever Chandrachud comes up, the conflict in my brain is not right and wrong. It's just anger because he's such a Sanghi, man. He claims to be a centrist, but man, he's a fucking Sanghi.
wrong. It's a conflict sometimes between right and right. It's sometimes a conflict between wrong and wrong.
ये पूरा केस एक बहुत ही गंभीर ट्रेजेडी है, पर यहाँ पर इस दुखद घटना को बेस बना के बहुत बड़े दावे किए गए। इसको जनरलाइज किया गया कि देखो मर्दों के साथ कितनी ज्यादती होती है, द परफेक्ट विक्टिम। कुछ लोगों ने कानून बदलने की भी बात कर डाली। एक यंग एमपी इस पे लिखते हैं, आई थिंक द टाइम हैज कम फॉर अस टू रिव्यू मेनी ऑफ दीज फैमिली रिलेटेड लेजिस्लेशंस एंड ऑल्सो इंट्रोड्यूस वेरेवर पॉसिबल an aspect of gender neutrality so as to protect both partners in marriage. The family is a very important institution. It is the
Is that Tejasvi Surya? Hold on. I need to check this because I don't know why am I doing this to myself. Because I don't like Tejasvi Surya? Yes, that's Tejasvi Surya. How did I forget his face? Thank God I forgot his face. But why was I reminded of him? I'm sorry. Okay, I have this issue with Kunal Kamra. You're putting in like tattis in front of my eyes.
founding block of the society, and legislations that can be misused by one partner can be a detriment to this very institution of family and will have very strong social repercussions if not addressed.
इतने तेजस्वी लोग हैं हमारे पास।
तेजस्वी के दिमाग में इतने अच्छे आइडिया आते हैं कि क्या कहे, कितने अच्छे आइडिया आते हैं। तेजस्वी को लगता है कि कानून इस तरह से महिलाओं के पक्ष में है कि परिवार खतरे में है। खतरा इंडिया का स्टेपल डाइट है, इंडिया का के खतरा क्लक्स क्लैन। चलो इस एपिसोड में अब हम परखते हैं कि ये जो देसी एंड्रू के टट्टे हैं, इनके दावों में और
Dude, like Kunal Kamra is funny even when he's not trying. Jeez. Like he has become such an important aspect of the fabric of what modern India is. But seriously, he's just so fucking funny.
हकीकत में कितना फासला है। एलिमनी के अमाउंट को लेकर बहुत बातें होती है मेंस राइट सर्किट में, पर यही लोग सिलेक्टिवली कुछ आंकड़ों को इग्नोर कर देते हैं। ये लोग ये भूल जाते हैं कि हमारी औरतें बिलियंस ऑफ आवर्स और ट्रिलियन ऑफ डॉलर का अनपेड वर्क डेली करती हैं। तो ये लोग कहेंगे कि नहीं, ऐसे काम को तो पैसे से नहीं नापा जा सकता, ये तो संस्कार है। पर इस संस्कार को ना कन्वीनियंस बोलते हैं, पेट्रियार्कल कन्वीनियंस। चलो कल को तुम्हारा बॉस तुमसे ज्यादा काम कराए और बोले इसके क्या पैसे, मैं तुम्हें एक्सपीरियंस दे रहा हूँ, अपॉर्चुनिटी दे रहा हूँ, एक्सपोजर दे रहा हूँ, बड़ों की बात सुनना संस्कार है, तो आप ऐसे बॉस को टॉलरेट करेंगे? जो महिलाएं फैमिली रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज के लिए अपने करियर की बलि चढ़ा देती है, उनको संपत्ति में हिस्सा भी नहीं मिलता। ये जो अपने जन्म
This shit just happened. Hold on. Shit just happened. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. We are interrupting men's rights because fuck men's rights because of this shit. Parliament approves landmark Shanti bill which opens nuclear power sector to private players. This is fuck all. This is absolutely fuck all. Why is this a thing? Oh my fucking Jesus God. Jesus fucking Christ. Literally the worst thing that could have passed. Why did they have to name it Shanti? Parliament has a sustainable harnessing and advanced nuclear energy for transforming India bill on Thursday. The bill, which cleared Lok Sabha on Wednesday, was introduced in Parliament on Monday by Union Minister for the State of Atomic Energy Jitendra Singh. The Union Minister for the State of the legislation proposed grant of license to private companies to operate nuclear power plants, the removal of existing continuous liability costs for supplier of fuel and technology, as well as rationalization of levels of payout by operators in case of accidents. It further aims to boost investments in nuclear power sector in order to help India achieve its ambitions targeted as 100 gigawatts of nuclear power capacity by 2047, according to earlier HT report. Response to the clearing of the Shanti bill by both houses, PM Narendra Modi said in remarks of transformation movement marks a transformational movement for our technology landscape. PM Modi expressed gratitude for MPs who supported the passage of bill and said it would help in safely powering AI. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh. And in enabling green manufacturing. Jesus fucking Christ. This is going to be... Oh, fuck's sake. There's a meme on Discord. Fine. No, this is terrible. Not great, not like where is this? Is the not great, not terrible gif? No, this is terrible. This is bad. This is bad because Indian power supply, like for example, oh shit, no. Oh, right, fuck, yeah, I watched Chernobyl. Yeah, this was the guy. Yeah, that is exactly what we are looking at right now. People don't realize how shit this is. See, India's power sector is fucked. Okay, like we do not have proper regulations in India's power sector. We do not have proper regulations. That's why we have a problem with fucking so much pollution. Because they don't follow regulations and they can just bypass regulations. That is a huge problem. Now, because of this we are introducing the same level of shittiness into the private sector. Like it's going to be Adani and Ambani for Adani Power. Quite literally, the issues with India's power sector right now is because Adani Power just refuses to like follow regulations, this is the same shit happening on a nuclear scale. The pun is fucking intended. How the fuck do you... Jesus fucking Christ. This is so irresponsible. This is going to like... do these people understand the fact that yes, nuclear is cleaner and produces a lot of electricity, but nuclear also produces a fucking byproduct in radiated water which has to be stored properly. Do you really think the people who cannot even store properly the leftovers of their like non-toxic, like not as toxic water and sewage properly right now when it comes to coal, they are going to be storing nuclear waste properly? What the fuck? This is bad. We have uranium quite literally in our waterways. Like, there was uranium in fucking breast milk. Like in Delhi. I'm not wrong. Delhi groundwater. Like, look at this shit. Not just high uranium, Delhi's groundwater has more toxic chemicals. What the fuck? These are the people who have made shit all of environment, and hence, and in relation, the people. Do you think they are going to be responsible for putting up, like taking care of nuclear fucking waste? We needed more nuclear power plants, guaranteed. That is true. We did not need to make it fucking private. Yeah, Adani is gonna dump nuclear waste in the fucking Ganges. Like, this is going to happen. This is going to fucking happen. How the fuck do we actually let this shit happen? I don't understand. I don't fucking understand. I don't understand this. How do we let this happen? We need to be out on the fucking roads before everyone has fucking cancer. Adani Ambanis don't care. The electricity is going to be sold to Bangladesh and Pakistan, and like they are going to try for AI. This is, the people are going to be fucking dying here because of this. Jesus fucking Christ. How do we... this needs to be stopped now. This needs to be stopped now. I can't... This should not be allowed to pass. Like, if this reaches parliamentary... Oh no, this actually passed the parliament. Jesus, if someone can, please, I'm begging you. This is not a sector you want to be privatized. They will be required to obtain licenses after safety authorization on radiation exposure. Fucking bullshit. Adani Ambani has gone out of their way to avoid licensing and avoid regulation. Do you think they are not going to do it? By the way, we need to cover Aravali, and today Bombay High Court has given... Jesus fucking Christ. I used to have a lecture on the importance of mangroves, and I always give the example of Mumbai. Because Mumbai is, was at least protected from floods by mangroves. You know what the fuck is gonna happen when all the mangroves are cut? Enjoy your Vienna. Enjoy fucking boating everywhere, because that is what is going to happen. There is not going to be a single location in Mumbai that is not drowned. What the fuck do you think these guys mangroves do? Like, what the fuck? Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, hold on. I'm still reading this. The bill allows any department of government of India, of any institution of authority or corporation, establishment, or owned or controlled by such government, any government company, any other company, a joint venture among any of the aforementioned or so, other person expressly permitted by the central government by notification to set up a facility or undertake such activities. Jesus fucking Christ. Blah, blah, blah. So basically, like, anyone can. Rekha Gupta promised Venice, now delivering. Don't say BJP doesn't fulfill. Yeah. She's doing it in Mumbai though, which is the sad part. BJP government is doing it in Mumbai now. Mumbai is going to be like everyone's fucking boating. You're going to see like guys, Tata and Maruti or whatever is going to come with like, oh look, our new power boat, and like this is what company's Thar? What company's Thar? Fucking I forgot the Thar company. Mahindra is going to come with like a boat Thar. This is our new SUV. No, SUB. Our vehicle, it is a boat basically that operates like a Thar, that looks like a Thar, but it is just on a boat. So you can go speed through it and just like go and get into fucking accidents at this point. All of the Sangis are going to have Thars. All of the other Sangis, that poorer Sangis, are going to be on like CT100. Like just on like small boats and just paddling every day. That's all they're gonna do. Because fucking LVN. I am so distraught by this, I can't even joke properly. Like, what the fuck, guys? What the fuck? See, India is going to have its own space station. I'm sorry, but the space station is going to be in like next to his house. See, they said they are going to build a space station. They never said it's going to be in space. That's the difference. Also, never underestimate the malice of these people. There's a good chance they're making a space mansion because India is so polluted right now that they can't live on the ground, so they're going to live in space. Jesus fucking Christ. According to the statement of objects of the bill, it also provides for pragmatic civil liability regime for nuclear damage. Okay. So calls for amendment to Patents Act 94, granting of patent relating to atomic energy. Jesus fucking Christ. This is horrible. Yeah, Elysium plot is coming true. That's every negative plot ever is coming true because of the Modi government. Jesus Christ. Where do we go from this? At this point, where do we go from this? What do you think? Where do we go from this fucking this? Like, there is literally nothing that anyone can like. Is there any motion on the ground at this point? Or is it just always the case where we are the only fucking people talking about this? Jesus fucking Christ. I'm gonna cut this again and post it separately because Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway, let's go back to the MRA before I lose my shit again. Oh, Jesus, the whole fucking point.
से पराया धन कही जाने वाली लड़की को कहाँ हिस्सा मिलेगा संपत्ति में, और जो काम वो अपने घर पे भी करती है वो तो ऑफ कोर्स अनपेड लेबर है, और इस संस्कारों की वजह से वो पूरी तरह फाइनेंशियली डिपेंडेंट भी है। हम एक देश में रहते हैं कि महिलाएं इस तरह डिपेंडेंट है कि डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस इश्यूज में औरतों का ये डर नहीं है कि ये आदमी मुझे मार देगा, उनका ये डर है कि अगर ये छोड़ देगा तो मुझे बचाएगा कौन, मैं जाऊंगी कहाँ।
थप्पड़ से डर नहीं लगता साहब, सोसाइटी से लगता है।
और फिर भी जो 1% डाइवोर्स केस हो रहे हैं इस देश में, उसमें मिलने वाली एलिमनी को ये अपराध मानते हैं। ट्विटर पे घटिया सोच रखने वाले मर्द ये लिख रहे हैं कि मेल को अगर कर्व करना है तो 3 महीने में एक कुटाई होनी चाहिए बीवी की। एक मेल का एपिसोड अंधभक्तों के हफ्तों छाया रहता है, पर वाइफ बीटिंग बेडरूम से ड्राइंग रूम तक नहीं पहुंचती। डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस हमारी सोसाइटी में इतना नॉर्मलाइज्ड है कि कहीं औरतें भी मानती है कि उनका मर्द उन पे हाथ उठा सकता है अगर वो अपना काम सही से ना करे या अपने सास ससुर की इज्जत ना करे। इस सर्वे के हिसाब से 45% औरतें और 44% मर्द ये मानते हैं कि एक शादी के सेटअप में औरतों का मार खाना कभी कभी इधर उधर जायज़ ही है। चौंका देने वाली बात यह है कि मोर वुमेन देन मेन बिलीव दैट डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस इज ओके। थोड़ा और बेडरूम के अंदर झांकते हैं कि इस मर्दानगी की वजह क्या क्या है। इस सर्वे के हिसाब से 32% औरतें और 31% मर्द ये मानते हैं कि अगर औरत अपने ससुराल वालों की इज्जत ना करे तो उसका मार खाना जायज़ है। इसी सर्वे के हिसाब से 10% मर्द और 11% औरतें ये मानते हैं कि अगर औरत सेक्स के लिए अपने पति को रिफ्यूज़ करे तो मारपीट जायज़ है। शादी के बाद संभोग इनका जन्मसिद्ध अधिकार है। अगर किसी को ये लगे तो ये तो पुरानी बातें हैं, आगे जाके ये सब चीज़ें सुधर जाएगी, अगले साल ये संख्याएं कम होगी। आई एम सॉरी टू डिसअपॉइंट यू, ये नंबर सिर्फ ऊपर जा रहे हैं। 2015 से 2019 ऐसे मर्दों की संख्या बढ़ गई जो वाइफ बीटिंग को जायज मानते हैं। अगर आपको लगता है कि पढ़ाई लिखाई के साथ ये सब ठीक हो जाएगा तो आप इसमें भी गलत है। 12वीं क्लास तक पढ़ने वाले 39% मर्द और 38% औरतें ये मानती हैं कि डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस जायज है। लग रहा है स्कूल में तो सिलेबस का पता नहीं, पर घर के सिलेबस में मनुस्मृति पढ़ाई जा रही है। अ वाइफ, अ सन, अ स्लेव, अ pupil who have committed faults may be beaten with a rope or with a split bamboo. ये है हमारी मनुस्मृतियाँ।
लवणे न भोजन।
अब एक सवाल केबीसी स्टाइल। देवी और सज्जनों, बताइए किसके साथ ज्यादा हिंसा होती है? ऑप्शन 1 शादीशुदा महिलाएं, ऑप्शन 2 कुंवारी महिलाएं, ऑप्शन 3 गोल्ड डिगर, ऑप्शन 4 ब्रॉन्ज डिगर्स। चलिए आपको 50-50 लाइफलाइन दे देते हैं और बचते हैं ऑप्शन 1 और ऑप्शन 2, शादीशुदा महिलाएं और कुंवारी महिलाएं। तो ऑप्शन 2 लॉक कर दिया जाए। कंप्यूटर जी, ऑप्शन 2 लॉक कर दिया जाए। गलत जी। इस सवाल का सही जवाब है शादीशुदा महिलाएं। आप अपनी पूरी डाउरी, सोना, एसी, फ्रिज और फॉर्च्यूनर खो चुके हैं। थप्पड़ मूवी देखी है आपने, जहाँ पे तापसी पन्नू एक थप्पड़ के खिलाफ लड़ पड़ती है। बिकॉज द मोस्ट कॉमन फॉर्म ऑफ वायलेंस रिपोर्टेड बाय 25% मैरिड वुमेन इज स्लैपिंग।
And if you can't slap, if you can't touch your woman wherever you want, you can't use cuss words. I don't see emotion there.
अब तो कोई बोल ही सकता है कि आप एक तरफा डेटा
Okay, listening, if you are someone who listens to Anurag Kashyap or anything, please jump off a building.
दिखा रहे हैं। महिलाएं भी तो मर्दों को मारती हैं। आइए देखते हैं कितनी महिलाएं। Only 4% of women have initiated domestic violence with their husbands जब वो सामने से न मार रहे हो। अब सोचिए क्या रोक रहा है 4% को 100 हो जाने से? कुटाई का सारा सामान तो औरतों के हिस्से में ही आया है। वही किचन जहाँ तुम बार बार भेजते रहते हो। बेलन, करची, गरम तेल, चिली पाउडर, मिक्सर ग्राइंडर, प्रेशर कुकर, यहाँ तो जहरीली चाय। पर इस देश में अब लगता है कि सबको जहरीली चाय की तो आदत लग चुकी है।
ये कोई चाय है बेंचो?
अब तो मान लो कि प्रॉब्लम प्राइमरीली पुरुषों में है। मेल सुप्रीमिस्ट को थोड़ी तो अकाउंटेबिलिटी लेनी पड़ेगी ना। आपको लग सकता है कि फाइनेंशियली इंडिपेंडेंट महिलाएं इस तरीके का वायलेंस कम झेलती होगी, पर ये भी सच नहीं है। जो औरतें काम करती है उनके साथ फिजिकल वायलेंस के चांसेस ज्यादा है कंपेयर टू जो औरतें होम मेकर है। ये एक शॉकिंग स्टैटिस्टिक है। शायद फाइनेंशियल इंडिपेंडेंस के चलते ही इश्यूज क्रिएट होते हैं। मर्दाना इनसिक्योरिटी हमेशा सेक्सुअल तो होती नहीं है। फ्रेजाइल ईगो और इनसिक्योरिटी भी एक आदमी को एनिमल बना देती है।
So I usually go for shades that are understated.
और ये भी एक सच है कि पढ़ी लिखी जॉब करने वाली महिलाएं इसको रिपोर्ट ज्यादा करती होंगी। पर आप सोचिए आपकी कुक, क्लीनिंग लेडी, वो भी एक वर्किंग वुमन है और उसको भी ये झेलना पड़ता है।
कल उसने फेर मारी, पर कल है ना मैंने सोची किसी दिन इसने अंदर तक कुंडी लगा ली तो तू कहाँ जाओगी?
और वो शायद रिपोर्ट भी ना करे। मेरे हिसाब से आप में से बहुत ही कम लोगों ने ऐसी कोई शादी अटेंड की होगी जिसमें दहेज वहेज दिया या लिया ना गया हो। 64 इयर्स हो गए, दहेज इलीगल है, पर तब तक कोई रिपोर्ट नहीं बनती जब तक डाउरी डेथ में ना कन्वर्ट हो जाए।
1 करोड़, 1 करोड़ 5 लाख, 1 करोड़ 10 लाख।
और अब इसमें भी हमारे एनिमल लवर्स ये तर्क देंगे कि 70 से 92% तो केसेस फेक होते हैं। अभी आंकड़े में इसलिए बता रहा हूँ, जैसे नमक स्वाद अनुसार होता है, झूठ भी औकात अनुसार बोलना चाहिए। जो जितना बेच सके वो उतना बड़ा झूठ बोल देता है। जैसे रवि किशन गोरखपुर की सड़कों को नेपेंसी रोड की सड़क।
I can't watch these videos in the straight face Jesus. He is just too damn fucking funny.
बता देते हैं। और एक देश के पापा जी है जो रशिया यूक्रेन की वॉर ही रुका देते हैं। कोई दांत से मूंगफली ही तोड़ सकता है और कोई कहीं और से अखरोट। अब अगर बात करें हम फेक डाउरी केसेस की, तो आईपीसी 498A के तहत सिर्फ 5% ऐसे केसेस है जो फाइनली फॉल्स पाए गए। हम ये नहीं कह रहे कि 95% केसेस सही पाए गए। मैं ना मूंगफली तोड़ता हूँ ना ही अखरोट, बस नंबर्स ब्रेक डाउन करता है। 2022 के एनसीआरबी डेटा के मुताबिक 498 में दर्ज हुए टोटल केसेस में से सबसे बड़ा नंबर 92% अभी पेंडिंग केसेस का भी है। जो 8% केसेस कंप्लीट हुए उनमें कन्विक्शन रेट 12 से 13% है और कंप्लीटेड ट्रायल में एक्विटल रेट 76 से 77%। पर हर एक्विटल फॉल्स केस नहीं होता। लैक ऑफ एविडेंस, आउट ऑफ कोर्ट सेटलमेंट, लैप्स इन प्रोसीजर, इन वजह से भी एक्विटल होता है। और ये बस 8% ट्रायल्स का डेटा है। और जो रिपोर्ट हुए ही नहीं वो किसी रिपोर्ट में है ही नहीं। सोशल मीडिया में तो यही छाया हुआ है कि women are misusing the law and men are the victim। अब इसमें आपको एक और चीज देखनी होगी कि जब कोई केस होता है, चाहे वो औरत के द्वारा हो, पर जरूरी नहीं है वो औरत ही कर रही हो। कहीं उसका भाई होगा, कहीं उसका बाप होगा, कहीं कोई मेल लॉयर होगा जो बोलेगा ये फेक केस डाल दो। और जो मर्द होगा वो भी अकेला नहीं झेलेगा, शायद उसके घर में कोई होगा, उस पर भी केस हो जाएगा, शायद उसके पिताजी होंगे, शायद उनका भाई होगा। तो ये कहना कि ये सिर्फ औरतें फेक केस कर रही है, ये गलत है। इसमें भी मेल इन्वॉल्वमेंट होती है। लाइक एनी अदर लॉ, जो लॉ औरतों की प्रोटेक्शन के लिए बने हैं वो मिसयूज होते हैं, पर मिसयूज होना ये नॉर्म नहीं है, ये एक्सेप्शन है। ये एक बात अपने दिमाग में आप गाड़ लीजिए कि जो हमारे देश की जितनी औरतों ने कोई भी तरह का वायलेंस या हेटरेट फेस किया है, उनमें से सिर्फ 14% हेल्प मांगती है। ये स्टेटिस्टिक हमें बताते हैं कि हमारी कितनी औरतें साइलेंटली सफर कर रही है, शेम, फियर या सोशल प्रेशर की वजह से हेल्प नहीं मांग पा रही। लॉ वुमेन को फेवर करे या ना करे, सोसाइटी बिल्कुल नहीं करती, और ना ही वो सोसाइटी से निकले हुए एग्जीक्यूटिव बॉडी के मर्द। लेजिस्लेचर जो भी करे, जुडिशरी जैसा भी कहे, मैं फिर से दोहरा रहा हूँ, डिवोर्स केसेस का रेट इंडिया में 1% से भी कम है।
जाना है तुझे, जाना है, जा चल जा, मेरी क्लास में सुधर के जा, चली जा, शर्म नहीं आई?
गांव देहात की तो बात नहीं करते, बड़े बड़े ऑफिस में भी ना पॉश केस को एक जोक की तरह बताया जाता है, और जो आया ही अभी हाल ही में ही है। इसीलिए सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट एट अ वर्क प्लेस हमारी पढ़ी लिखी महिलाएं भी रिपोर्ट नहीं करती, क्योंकि सुनने वाला कोई है नहीं, और इसीलिए सबसे बड़ा नंबर है साइलेंटली अनरिपोर्टेड। पर चलिए रिपोर्ट हुए क्राइम्स के नेशनल नंबर्स पे नजर डालते हैं। 1220 क्राइम्स रिपोर्टेड बाय वुमेन पर डे इन 2022, 18 डाउरी डेथ्स डेली इन 22, 18 डाउरी डेथ्स पर डे। सोचो, कुछ देर के लिए ना केसेस और फॉल्स केसेस की बात भूल जाओ, बॉडीज डोंट लाई। ये जो मरने वाले फिगर्स है वो सच है। देखिए, अतुल ने अपने नोट में तो बहुत कुछ लिखा, और वो नोट मिसोजिनी का एक आसान एक्सक्यूज बन गया। पर एक मेरी गुजारिश है आपसे कंसिडर करने की, कि जब कोई आदमी ऐसे प्रेशर में हो और इतने मेंटल चैलेंजेस झेल रहा हो, उसकी राइटिंग कोहेरेंट, क्लियर नहीं होती। अगर नोट ही किसी तरह का आधार है, तो उन नोट्स का क्या जो औरतों ने लिखे डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस में, डाउरी डेथ्स में, सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट में, उन्हें भी तो कोई पढ़े। मैं यहाँ अतुल के दर्द को नेगेट नहीं करूंगा, पर इस केस को लेके कहना कि हर बार औरतें ही कुछ गलत करती है, वो सही नहीं होगा। जब एक औरत कहती है कि मुझे मर्दों से डर लगता है, तो हम झट से कह देते हैं नॉट ऑल मेन, और यही दूसरे साइड पे जब अतुल का केस आता है, तो आप कहने लग जाते हो ऑल वुमेन आर इविल।
हिपोक्रेसी की भी सीमा होती है।
बस डिसाइड कर लो कि जनरलाइज करना है कि नहीं करना है। जो सबसे हार्ट ब्रेकिंग बात है ना, कि एक भी आदमी जो अब नहीं है जिसने किया है, उसकी अगर कोई सुन लेता, उसको साइकियाट्रिक हेल्प मिलती, अगर वो किसी तरह की थेरेपी लेता, तो शायद आउटकम ये नहीं होता। जो लोग बलात्कार और डाउरी डेथ्स के सामने मेल सुसाइड्स का नंबर रख देते हैं, खुद को मारना और किसी और की जान लेना एक बात कैसे हो सकती है? आप कहेंगे अबेटमेंट होता है, एलिमनी होती है। मैं फिर से कहूंगा कि जब डिवोर्स रेट ही 1% से कम है, तो फिर प्रॉब्लम क्या है? मर्दों में ज्यादा है, पर व्हाट डू वुमेन हैव टू डू विद इट? सही सवाल करो, सही लोगों से करो। पेट्रियार्की का भार मर्दों पे भी है। बहन की शादी करानी है, जॉब लेना है, जॉब चला गया, एग्जाम पास नहीं हुआ, कास्ट डिस्क्रिमिनेशन, उसकी वजह से भी होते हैं, जहाँ पे औरतें डायरेक्टली इन्वॉल्व नहीं है। क्यों रेट्स मर्दों में ज्यादा है एक पेट्रियार्कल सिस्टम में, इसमें भी तो अकाउंटेबिलिटी पेट्रियार्की की ही होगी ना, औरतों की कैसे होगी? ये सही है, कास्ट डिस्क्रिमिनेशन से लड़ना नहीं है, टॉक्सिक वर्क कल्चर के बारे में बोल नहीं पा रहे हो, और गवर्नमेंट के पर तो सवाल उठा ही नहीं सकते। अब एनसीआरबी के 2022 के डेटा पे आते हैं। मेल्स में मैरिज रिलेटेड 3.28 है, और औरतों के 9% से ऊपर है। पर ये मैरिज रिलेटेड इश्यूज की 5 सब कैटेगरीज भी है: नॉन सेटलमेंट ऑफ मैरिज, डाउरी डिस्प्यूट, एक्स्ट्रा मैरिटल अफेयर्स, डिवोर्स और दूसरे कारण। अब इसमें भी नॉन सेटलमेंट ऑफ मैरिज का मतलब शादी ना हो पाना या कैंसिल हो जाना। अब आप कहेंगे परसेंटेज क्यों बता रहे हो, नंबर तो मर्दों के ज्यादा है कंपेयर टू वुमेन। मेल्स करीब 75,000 ज्यादा है, पर जब यही आंकड़ा मैरिज रिलेटेड पे आता है तो 5,000 औरतें ज्यादा कर रही हैं, और ये बस नंबर्स है। पर रोज के 18 डाउरी डेथ्स, 86 रेप केसेस एंड अदर क्राइम अगेंस्ट वुमेन, जिसमें डायरेक्टली मर्द क्राइम कर रहे हैं। पर मैं फिर से ये कहना चाहता हूँ, इन आंकड़ों के परे अगर एक भी डेथ हो रही है तो वो ज्यादा है। इसीलिए जरूरी है हम सही लोगों से सवाल करें।
He's too nice to MRS. Why not remove the institution of marriage altogether? Why no one has get married? It's a facade. Because you get better taxation. It's a scam, more or less. Marriage itself is a scam, but you get better taxation, you get better security in life, because marriage as an institution is quite new. Like, it's for better loans, it's for better security, it's for applying for like safety measures in life generally. Like, if you are buying a house, you would buy a house, like the rate would be better if you're married. Legally speaking, like, liability is a big thing in marriage. Whatever you do, your married partner is your insurer. If you can't do something, or if you can't repay money or whatever, your married partner is liable. Because in India you can't, like in India you can, but like in a lot of countries you can't have parents liable for their children. So the idea is like, oh, the partner is liable now. That's why marriages are a thing in the first place. But okay, fine, marriages have become part of like the strata of like the societal culture of the world at this point, because of which marriages are important. That's why you can't remove it as an institution, because people want to marry. If people want to marry, they want to marry. Forget it.
नैरेटिव पलटने के लिए या इजी टारगेट ढूंढने के लिए नहीं, किसी के भी मन में ऐसे ख्याल आए तो उनको मदद मांगनी चाहिए। अगर आप इंटरनेट के फ्रॉडकास्टर्स और मेंस राइट एक्टिविस्ट की तरफ देखें तो उनको थेरेपी या साइकेट्रिक हेल्प लेने से बहुत दिक्कत है।
If you're my friend, you just can't be a pussy. Well, I had a heart attack. Get the fuck up. What's wrong with you?
अगर आप देखें, वो एक जानवर द्वारा बनाई गई एनिमल फिल्म में भी मेंटल हेल्थ इश्यूज का खास मजाक उड़ाया गया।
I'm a psychologist. I'm here for your mental well-being and your morale.
एक ही चीज तो काम कर रही है अभी, आपकी जरूरत नहीं अब जा सकती। लेफ्ट हैंड यूज कर, राइट हैंड नहीं, पापा लेफ्ट हैंड यूज करता है।
What?
They'll tell you men don't cry, but I will tell you they do die and they should get all the help they need. ये आपको बोलेंगे मर्द बनो, और कैसा मर्द बनो? जो इनकी एक डेफिनेशन के हिसाब से फिट हो रहे हो। आप अपनी सारी इंडिविजुअलिटी छोड़ के किसी के और के हिसाब से मर्द क्यों बनोगे? ये आपको मैन नहीं मॉब बना रहे हैं। और क्या करती है ऐसी भीड़? बस वही जो भीड़ का काम होता है, बिना सोचे कुछ भी करना। हर कोई आ जाता है इनकी इनसिक्योरिटीज का ठेकरा देकर, कोई सोल्यूशन सामने ना लाकर, बस इनकी वल्नरेबिलिटीज के साथ खेलने। तभी तो ये स्टार्टअप कल्चर में हसल करेंगे, डोनाल्ड ट्रंप के बोलने पे जंग लड़ेंगे, एंड्रू के टट्टे चाटेंगे और धर्म के हिसाब से बाकियों को बांटेंगे और दूसरे धर्म, जाति या जेंडर को काटेंगे। क्योंकि एक इनसिक्योर भीड़ जिसकी अपनी कोई ताकत नहीं होती है, वो दूसरों को दबाकर ही ताकत महसूस करता है। यू आर पावरफुल नॉट बिकॉज ऑफ योर स्ट्रेंथ बट बिकॉज ऑफ द वीकनेस ऑफ द अदर। अब आप सोच रहे हैं हम ये सब क्यों डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, जबकि न्यूज़ में ब्लू ड्रम मर्डर जैसी हेडलाइन छाई हुई है। पर ये जो खबरें न्यूज में आती है वो न्यूज में इसलिए आती है क्योंकि ये नॉर्मल नहीं है, ये एक अनयूजुअल केस है। और जो हमने आपको स्टैटिस्टिक्स बताए वो न्यूज नहीं, बस नंबर बन के रह जाते हैं। लोगों को समझना चाहिए ये जो केसेस है आउटलायर्स है। हम ये नहीं कह रहे हैं कि सिर्फ आदमी ही क्राइम करता है, औरतें भी करती है, ऑब्वियस है। और ऐसे क्राइम्स के लिए कानून भी है, पनिशमेंट भी मिलती है। पर आज के समाज में यही आउटलायर्स ज्यादा हाईलाइट होते हैं और मेन स्ट्रीम मीडिया इनको हिंदी सीरियल जैसे एक सेंसेशनल तरीके में आपको दिखा देता है।
शख्स मौजूद है, एक सिंबॉलिक तरीके से हम प्रतीकात्मक तौर पे हम इसको एक रिक्रिएशन के तौर पे हम इसको इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं। और करीब करीब भैया कितनी हाइट होगी आपकी? करीब 5 फुट।
सबको शौक लगता है, टीआरपी मिलती है, मिलेगी ही, क्योंकि मार्केट भी ये समझता है कि हमारी पेट्रियार्कल सोसाइटी में ये न्यूज ज्यादा चलेगी। देयर विल बी मोर टेकर्स फॉर अ न्यूज जहां एक महिला विलेन है। खाप पंचायत अब इंटरनेट पे लगती है, कमेंट्स पे फैसले हो जाते हैं और लड़कियों पे बस रोस्ट वीडियो बनाए जाते हैं। आपके सबसे बड़े इन्फ्लुएंसर्स मिसोजिनी को अपना मार्केट बना चुके हैं और आपके बच्चों को उनका बाजार।
I don't like women who think that they're different, who want to be men, who want to be rappers, who don't want to be. I have a problem with women that can't define misogyny but calling me misogynistic.
Fuck the woman, fuck the woman. What? No, wait. We love women.
जहाँ वो माइंडलेसली वो कंटेंट कंज्यूम करते हैं जो उनकी इनसिक्योरिटीज और वल्नरेबिलिटीज का फायदा उठाता है, उनको औरतों का विक्टिम बताकर। ये आपको एक ऐसे पैरेलल वर्ल्ड में ले जाता है जहाँ पे फेमिनिज्म एक एफ वर्ड है और हर आजाद लड़की एक आर वर्ड, जहाँ सब कुछ एक डार्क जोक है, चाहे वो डाउरी डेथ हो या बलात्कार। हम भी आपको एक पैरेलल वर्ल्ड में ले जाना चाहते हैं जहाँ पे पेट्रियार्की से सबको आजादी मिले, जहाँ पे हर चीज का बोझ दोनों में इक्वली डिवाइडेड हो, चाहे वो पैसे कमाना हो या घर गृहस्थी देखना हो। तो घर हो या दफ्तर, गाँव हो या शहर, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी दोनों की हो। तो पेट्रियार्कल प्रिविलेजेस छोड़ने होंगे, इमोशनल लेबर करना होगा, औरतों के खिलाफ नहीं उनके साथ ही हर सिस्टम से लड़ना पड़ेगा। अगर आप ऐसे वीडियोस और देखना चाहते हैं तो इस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कीजिए। जनहित में जारी है।
Yeah. Guys, seriously speaking, do not fall into the trap that like most of the MRAs want you to. Because they want you to feel isolated mostly. They want you to feel that everyone is against you. That's how like the whole pipeline goes, something like that. You feel like, the people are against me. Oh, the women are against me, so I need to become an incel, a groiper or whatever. That's what the MRAs want of you anyway. That's a big problem, especially in the Indian culture generally. And see, the point is, you do not need to be a men's right activist if you want to have freedom for men, if you want to have a better life, if you want to have better life for men and avoid all of these fucking laws that seemingly plague humanity, whatever. You need to be a feminist. The whole point of a feminist is quite literally equality and the freedom to choose. As long as you are a feminist, As long as you're talking about feminism, you are quite literally talking about your own rights. What are the issues that men's right activists face? Like they claim to that men face. Stringent cultural norms where men are supposed to be providers. Not enough support for men going through depression. Not enough support in cases of false cases or whatever. All of this is solved in feminism. All of this is taken care of in feminism. Sarin Chestein, what? You want to be a men's rights activist? Why are you here when I'm giving a monologue? Sorry, guys. Sarin, up. Can you? Do you want to see? He's here. Sarin, up. See, he's here. Come closer. Come closer. He wants pets. He got bored. Anyway, where was I? Sarin kind of distracted me in the middle. Yeah, he just came in. I was trying to give a monologue about like why I should be a feminist, and he just like dropped in. And he's like, no, I want to be a men's rights activist. That's you. Are you an asshole? You are an asshole. Anyway, you need to be a feminist because feminism covers you as well. Feminism quite literally helps you. It is all about connecting. And a lot of your problems as men will go away if you just talk to a bloody person. Talk about your emotions. You need to be more emotional generally. You need to be more emotionally available as men towards other men. Women are never going to be able to help you. I'm sorry, they are just not. And if you are not going to talk about your own situations with other men and what you go through with people who have gone through similar shit, you're always going to feel everyone is against you. That is how these things are going to go. You're expecting way too much from women, first one, and then you feel that everyone is against you because the laws are against you, but it is not true. All of the laws, whether written or not written, as we have seen, are with you. Being a men's rights activist in 2025 India is absolutely idiotic and stupid. What you need to be is a feminist, because men's rights activists do push you into patriarchy, and patriarchy fucks both ways as well. Your problems are going to be solved if you're not a patriarchal SOB. Because all of your problems that you're talking about are because of patriarchy. Even these laws that are supposedly made have a hint of patriarchy, where the laws always feel, women can't be murderers or women can't be whatever. That is the ideology by which the laws are made, because these laws are just like not as well enough, let's say. These laws are not enough in protecting women, or women would be protected. What is enough is a law or like a movement within India that talks about what can you and can't do towards women, teaches men what consent is, teaches men and women from an earlier age on what is appropriate behavior, what consent is, what are your bodily anatomy and your rights are. That is going to help. And to be that, you need to stop being a fucking patriarchal son of a bitch. If you keep being patriarchal son of a bitch, these laws become a necessity. The best way to get rid of these laws is to change yourself and change the men around you into saying and thinking the correct way. Not looking at women as objects, not following movies like Animal or whatever Anurag Kashyap has to, like Anurag Kashyap, if I'm not wrong, he has to say, whoever, I'm sorry, like insert name of that asshole. That's the point. If you can't follow through with that, literally, like I swear to you, you are going to be in shit anyway. If you can't follow through with any of that, you are going to be problematic, you're going to be an ass. And a lot of times, men's rights activists are disguising themselves as men's rights activists. These are Sanghis. These are if you're someone new to this movement, like, oh, I'm going to be a men's right activist, do remember all of the leaders of these movements are like right-wing activists. They are not really for your rights. They are trying to get votes for BJP. They are trying to grift you into something. They're conservatives. Like Andrew Tate came up as a men's right activist. He's a sex offender. He has been charged with trafficking women. You make like and guys are like, oh, he's my hero and whatever. Like, it's absolute bullshit. Stop doing that shit, man. Jesus, I'm judging you. Anyway, the other thing that happened recently and I wanted to talk about was, what is this? If you guys have heard of Kafka's Blue Bug, they recently released a video talking about Israel-Palestine and why we should be not supporting Israel and we should be supporting Palestine. There is a very good reason for it, because Palestinians are going through a genocide right now. We know that, you know that, everyone knows that. But the Indian government is in full support of Israel, which means the Hindu IT cells and whatever, even though these guys are not really involved in a Hindu-ness. Sorry, hold on. Bliss is texting on Discord. I have no idea what you just sent. Anyway, so these guys were harassed because of their video. These guys were chased down. These guys were pushed into, like, they got fired. I'm sorry, they got literally fired. For what? For speaking up their mind, because we don't have the fucking laws. And oh, cows are gay. Super gay. Cows are the best. Like, even though Sanghis use cows as LGBT, as their own devout mums or whatever, cows are super gay. Have you met a cow? Extremely gay. So this is a post from Hindu IT Cell. After a dangerous video, which was not dangerous at all, we reached out to her employer. I'm bringing her actions on their notice while we wait for the response. It is imminent that parents of these toddlers understand that they may be exposing some children to what exactly? You know what that video was? Boycotting Spotify because it's part of BDS. Spotify. Hindu IT Cell has a problem. Shiniji writes, the amount of pseudo power trolls hold over people who dissent is startling, in India especially, because this is cancel culture on steroids. Guess what? X won't even do a thing, obviously. Information they're using to attack, dox her are publicly present. Yeah, I mean, they are doxing her at this point. Srinishti, I think her name is supposed to be. Lives turn into hell because glaring policy gaps will okay, platforms are quiet. Yeah, because platforms want to support pro-Israel activities like this. Like, you would think, like, oh, why the fuck Hindu IT Cell cares about Palestine? They don't. Their masters do. Imagine this. You share your political views online. Right-wing trolls track you down where you live, where you work, email your employer, and you lose your job just for exercising your right to dissent. You have the right to dissent, by the way. And they were not even exercising the right to dissent against the government. Not their government. They were exercising their right against the government of Israel. Platforms do nothing because owned and operated by Elon Musk. Pros is a Zionist. The law is murky since sharing public info isn't doxing. See, this is sharing public info about a person is doxing. You know, recently what happened was during the RTI change, they have said that you can't share information about goddamn contractors, which is already public information. And these are apparently contracted to work for us. Their information shouldn't be public. Because doxing, but now sharing this information is perfectly fine, where you can harass someone to the point that Shrishti, apparently the lady, has lost her job, and the guy, host Hanson or whatever, is on notice. What the fuck? What the actual fuck is going on in this country? This should not happen. This should not fucking happen. If I think it's just bliss here right now. If you have a video of this, do send it to me, because I'm looking for it from the start. I couldn't find their video initially, because I would really like to show what video are we talking about here. Because it's fucking bullshit that this is something that was allowed to happen, where a person has lost their job because they quite literally put out what they felt politically. Political dissent. Yeah, she deleted it. Yeah, okay. Political dissent is something that is extremely important in a democracy. Hindu IT cell is quite literally killing democracy at this point on the behest of the government, on the behest of lobbies. There is nothing else that is going on here. Why would the Hindu IT cell give a shit about Israel-Palestine? Why should they give a shit about Spotify? But they do, apparently. Because Spotify is carrying the Hindu name, apparently. Like, it is not Spotify, it is Spotloon. Nah, hold on. Fuck it. I can't even fucking say shit like that. Like, Spotify what? Spotify? I don't fucking know. What the actual fuck? Anyway. Jesus. Today is some day. Jesus, this is not like the best week for me. Yes. Anyway, guys, thank you for coming. I'm gonna cut this video because this is going to do much better divided up. We can talk about this again on Sunday, and I will see you back on Sunday. Thank you for coming, guys. Good night. Shubhratri. See you later.